Hey there, curious minds. Welcome to What's New Today, the place where the news sounds absolutely bonkers, but every bit of it is 100% real. If you thought your day was interesting just because you finally found two matching socks in your drawer, wait till you see what we dug up for you today. Robot dogs, glowing glaciers, and even some courtroom drama starring a guy who came back from the dead, sort of. I've got 10 stories for you so bizarre, so mind-blowing, so this cannot be real. You'll want to share this video before your brain melts from disbelief. So buckle up. Let's dive into today's stories. Let's kick things off with something that sounds straight out of a sci-fi show. Apparently, someone who had been murdered managed to speak at their killer's trial. How is that even possible? Well, in a first-of-its-kind move in the U.S. legal system, a court in Arizona allowed an AI-generated avatar of the victim, Christopher Pelkey, to deliver a posthumous message during the sentencing hearing. According to Reuters, the video was created by the victim's sister using deep learning tech and past footage and photos of Christopher to rebuild his voice and appearance. The idea was to give the victim a symbolic voice in the courtroom. The judge allowed the AI message to be shown as part of the victim impact statement, setting a whole new precedent in the use of tech in justice. The defense didn't object, but prosecutors did warn that these tools should be regulated to avoid emotional manipulation or tech abuse. The final sentence? Life without parole. And the video? A huge part of the emotional closure for the family. It's a mix of heart-wrenching and straight-up eerie, like watching someone come back to life just to close their story. My take? This tech could be powerful in restorative justice. But honestly, we should also be a little freaked out. This is giving serious Black Mirror vibes. Now, let's move from the courtroom to the dog park. Or, well, the tech lab. Because apparently we might soon actually know what our dogs are thinking. Tech giant Baidu, think of it as China's Google, filed a patent for an AI system that could translate your pet's behavior into human language. The AI would analyze things like heart rate, body movement, and sound tones to figure out what your furry friend is feeling or needing, and then translate that into plain old human speak. According to Reuters, the project's still in the research phase. They're working with animal behavior labs and machine learning teams, focusing first on dogs and cats. But future versions might include farm or even wild animals. Honestly, we're this close to knowing if your cat wants food or is plotting world domination. My suggestion? Start with parrots and cats. If the researchers survive that phase, then yeah, let's figure out what dogs are saying when they stare at us like they definitely broke the vase, but also know we'll forgive them anyway. Speaking of animals that seem too magical to be real, did you know that some creatures actually glow in the dark? According to National Geographic, scientists have found that tons of animals, from flying squirrels to sharks, frogs, and scorpions, are biofluorescent. That means they glow under UV light. Yep, nature's out here throwing neon parties and we didn't even notice. No one's entirely sure why they glow. Maybe it's for communication, maybe camouflage, or maybe it helps with mating. Universities are now cataloging these glowing species and developing tools to observe them in the wild without disturbing them. The discoveries even caught the interest of folks in biotech and medicine who want to replicate the glow for practical use. If you ask me, we should sell UV flashlights on safari tours. Forget the northern lights. Glowing frogs are the new bucket list. Now let's talk about a real-life plot twist. Zombie fungi? That might just save farming. Yep, you heard that right. Scientists are looking into parasitic fungi that infect insects, like ants and caterpillars, and control their behavior before ultimately killing them. If that sounds familiar, it's because these were made famous by The Last of Us. But now, labs in Denmark and beyond are testing whether these fungi can be used as eco-friendly pest control in agriculture. The idea? The fungus infects a pest, forces it to move to a specific location, and dies there, effectively wiping out entire colonies without harming other species. Experiments are ongoing and backed by international funding, with the goal of creating safe bioinsecticides. So basically, the very fungus that could bring on a zombie apocalypse might now be the hero of sustainable farming. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. But personally, I just hope these fungi don't get any bright ideas about taking over us next. Next up, a creature that looks like a ghost straight out of the ocean. Meet the albino manta ray that's blowing up the internet. According to Live Now from Fox, a diver off the coast of Australia captured footage of a totally white manta ray swimming through clear waters. Experts say it's super rare, likely due to albinism or leucism, both of which mess with pigmentation. Marine biologists verified the footage and confirmed it's legit. They've asked divers not to interfere if they see the ray again and are looking into whether this is a one-time mutation or something more permanent. To me, it looks like a mix between a mythical sea creature and a living sculpture, someone called James Cameron. This ray deserves a starring role in Avatar 4. And speaking of rare creatures, did you know that in the Himalayas, there's a species of snow leopard almost no one ever sees? But NDTV says a group of tourists actually caught one on video in the Spiti Valley in broad daylight, just casually strolling down the road. This animal is known as the ghost of the mountains because of how elusive it is. They usually hunt at night and live in rugged, hard-to-reach areas. Authorities confirmed the sighting and said it could mean the species is bouncing back, or it could be a warning sign that they're being pushed out of their territory by human activity. Seeing a snow leopard like that? It's like spotting a unicorn on vacation. Totally surreal. This mix of mystery and beauty should be a big wake-up call to boost ecotourism and protect their habitat. All right, back to tech. You want a dog, but don't want to walk it or pick up poop. How about a robotic, amphibious dog instead? An international team of engineers just unveiled a four-legged robot inspired by how real dogs swim. This thing can walk on land and swim like a pro, perfect for rescue missions or underwater exploration. According to BioInspiration and Biomimetics, they designed it with lightweight materials and motor systems that mimic mammal movement. It's already been tested in labs and pools, and real-world tests are next. They're even hoping to partner with emergency agencies and NGOs for real-life uses like natural disasters or environmental patrol. I mean, come on. A robot dog that swims like it's chasing an invisible stick? That's peak Black Mirror, but in the cutest way possible. Someone give these engineers a treat. Or maybe a leash? Now, here's a wild one out of Barcelona. AI-designed DNA that can control living cells. Nope, not science fiction. Real science. A lab in Spain trained a generative AI to design synthetic DNA strands, about 250 nucleotides long, that can turn on or turn off genes in live mammal cells. They tested them in mouse blood cells and got them to glow, only in specific cell types, just as planned. It's like programming cells with biological code. Total game changer for medicine. The research, published in Nature Biotechnology, is still preclinical, but biotech companies are already paying attention. Ethics boards are also involved to make sure we're using this tech responsibly. My hot take? This isn't gene editing. This is cell coding, like asking ChatGPT to write instructions for your DNA. A little scary, but also kinda awesome. Let's just all agree. No cloning dinosaurs, okay? We've seen how that ends. Okay, pirates. But make it icy. Apparently, even glaciers are stealing from each other now. Scientists have observed something they're calling ice piracy in Antarctica. Basically, one glacier is siphoning ice from its neighbor. Yup. According to the British Antarctic Survey, the Recovery Glacier is redirecting part of the Foundation Glacier's flow in a never-before-seen process. It could affect ice stability and global melt patterns. They're watching it closely and building interactive visual models for museums and science centers. My thoughts? A glacier stealing from another glacier? This is Frozen meets Pirates of the Caribbean. We need a documentary on this as soon as possible. If even glaciers are fighting over resources, maybe it's time we humans start sharing better too. And finally, ever heard of a river that boils? Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, there's a place called Shanai Timpishka. And again, sorry if I butchered that name. Anyway, it's nicknamed the Boiling River, and for good reason. This thing stretches over 6 kilometers and can hit temperatures up to 90 degrees Celsius, without any nearby volcanoes. Geologist Andres Russo has been studying it and thinks it's caused by a rare underground geothermal system. But the scale and location make it a total mystery. Local Ashaninka communities have known about it for generations and connect it to spiritual traditions. Part of the area is now protected and eco-friendly tourist routes have been created with local guides. I mean, a river that boils in the jungle? Why go to Iceland when you can make ramen in Peru? And that's a wrap on this week's wild ride through news you truly can't make up. If any of these stories made you say, "Wait, that actually happened?" then we're doing our job right. Subscribe for more offbeat, mind-blowing stories. Hit that like button. Gently, don't break your mouse. Drop a comment telling us which story was the weirdest or coolest, and ring that bell loud enough for the snow leopard to hear it all the way in the Himalayas. See you tomorrow on What's New Today, where current affairs are always the main hub.